Hey everybody, what's up? Well, as promised, this is my first update on my cancer situation. As many of you know that follow our channel, Joni she doesn't like being on camera. So you get me during this whole update. But she's right behind the camera now, filming this. She's my camera person, right? Before we get started, I don't want any of you to worry about or be concerned about, well, Martin, where's all the RV maintenance and upgrade and repair videos and all that? Not a problem. I got a bunch of really cool stuff coming out. I'm just kind of waiting until a lot of you who have your RVs in storage, that you get them out and you're on the road. I mean, this takes a lot of work to put these videos together. And when half the audience has got them in storage, they're just not looking to be watching RV videos. So I'm waiting just a little bit longer. So not to worry, you won't be disappointed. I'm going to keep my notes here so I stay on track about this cancer update. So let's get right to it. In my Christmas video that we released, I announced that I had liver cancer. And many of you had a lot of suggestions about where to get treatment and all that. I mean, and I really do appreciate that. Many of you said, oh, Martin, you got to go to MD Anderson, best anywhere. Mayo Clinic, John Hopkins, go down to Tijuana in Mexico. And we did explore many of those things. But I wanted to bring this all into perspective so you understand our situation. I am a Vietnam vet, Purple Heart veteran, and I'm in the VA system. That's my insurance. So down here in the valley, Rio Grande Valley, where we spend the winter, the VA system down here does not have a VA hospital. They have a VA clinic. So any outside treatment that you need, everything from a hip replacement to heart surgery to cancer treatment, knee shots, the VA clinic down here gives you a voucher and you make an appointment with outside doctors. You're actually in the private sector, going to their doctors, their specialists, and all of that. And it's a great system down here. It's huge. And I'll show you a couple little things here in a second. It's very reliable, very massive medical care system down here. So we're staying down here to get my treatment and go through this path of dealing with cancer. And what's really cool about being down here is that all these facilities are really close together. Check out this map. You can see there on the left in Mission, Texas. That's where our winter spot is. That's where we live for the winter. And you just go down the highway about 7 miles and you have the Texas Oncology building. And then you go straight north there for about 4 miles and you have the VA clinic. And then you go about another 4 or 5 miles and you have DHR, which is Doctors Hospital Renaissance. And that's kind of one of the places like in Houston where you have the medical center in Houston. Well, DHR down here in McAllen is a smaller version of that. A lot of things happen in DHR. And right across the street from DHR, they are now currently building an MD Anderson hospital. It's due to open in the spring of 2025. So they're expanding a lot down there. So I just wanted to give you a perspective of how Joni and I, when we're going to our appointments and stuff, I mean, it's just bam, 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 bam. Just it's really close. It takes us 10 minutes to get there. There's no problem in parking. And it's just been awesome. And I also want to say that, we've asked you about praying for our path and a team. And I just can't tell you how God has so blessed us with a fantastic team. My VA doctor, my primary care doctor, has been in the system for 17 years. And him and I have just clicked, okay? He gave me his phone number and an extension directly to his office. And he said, Martin, he says, I'm going to tell you, he says, I've been in this clinic for 17 years, and I've only done that with 3 people. This fella calls me about once a week. He calls me and finds out how I'm doing, how things going, blah, blah. I mean, the guy is just unbelievable. Same thing when I ended up getting into Texas oncology. My oncologist and his team, I mean, they're just like right now. There's no waiting. We'll get back with you in the next week or 2. I mean, it's like right now, it's like a machine. They know exactly what they're doing. They're very friendly. Joni and I are just like, wow, this is exactly where we need to be. So let's go over the timeline of when I got the news of having liver cancer and what's happened since then, so we're all on the same page, okay? When I got the news back in November of 22 from that MRI that I had liver cancer caused by a previous infection of hepatitis C, remember? Well, there was another area of concern that they saw in that MRI, and it was right underneath my shoulder area, right in here. It was a white mass. They didn't know what it was, but it was laying right up against my 6th rib. And they said in that MRI, we need to get that biopsied. So we began to get the appointment to get that biopsied up in DHR. But here's where it gets interesting. 4 days later, after I got that news, I really cracked the back of my head on our big slide on the RV. Let me show you how that happened. So this particular project I was working on, I was helping my neighbor work on their golf cart. I had been working on this for a couple of days, and I'm now finishing up. And when I come here to my tool bay, I have my little knee pad here, and I was going through here, and I was getting tools and going back and forth, getting what I needed. Oh, I forgot I need this here, and I come back and get another tool. And so I was constantly coming in and out like this. And I've done this a million times. But again, I was out of my zone. I grabbed a couple of tools, I came out, and I lifted up and I hit the back of my head right here. And I mean, it was full force. I smacked it really good. After I did that, I tried to get back up, and I thought, no, I'm just going to sit here for a minute. And then I realized, okay, I'm okay. And I continued and I finished the job. Now, I have literally spent hundreds of hours under the coach, on top of the coach, in the coach. I've been anywhere and everywhere on this thing and doing different maintenance stuff and for years. And I've never hurt myself like this before, because whenever I'm working on the RV, I have a plan, right? I got my tools, I got my mission, I'm focused, I'm in my wheelhouse, and I'm doing what I set out to do. But this time it was different. I was out of my zone, I was helping a neighbor, wasn't paying attention, got in a hurry, and smacked that thing really good, right in the back of my neck. This turned out to be a big deal. I started having serious headaches and pain in the back of my neck, all back in here. My primary care doctor that I was telling you about at the VA, him and I were talking about it, and he said, Martin, you probably got a mild concussion. These things take about 4 to 6 weeks. It should simmer down. And I said, yeah, you're probably right. So we waited. But it got worse. It got so bad after Christmas and at the very part of the first of the year, I had to go to the ER. It felt like my head was just going to explode. So, in summary, in late November, I get the MRI results of my cancer, and I need a biopsy of this mass. 4 days later, I crack my head. In early January, I was scheduled to see the oncologist at Texas Oncology, in McAllen. But they wanted to wait to see me until they got the results about this biopsy from DHR. So on January 13th, I went to DHR for the biopsy. Okay, it's Friday morning, and there's where we're going, right over there. DHR Health. Now we're going to turn the car into the valet. Well, here we are in the morning. I just got through getting my blood work and getting ready to do this biopsy. So the biopsy is actually going to be here on my right side, underneath my arm and right in this area. We're going to see what's going on in there. We'll see how everything goes. And this is going to be a bone biopsy. The biopsy went great, and 5 days later I got the results. The liver cancer has metastasized. I didn't even know what that word meant until all this came up, but for those of you that don't know either, that means it moved. This cancer has moved, and it moved up to another location up in here. So it's the same cancer that's down in my liver. And they also verified that it's actually penetrating and it's in my bones, up on that 6th rib. So on January 23rd, we go and see the oncologist. Well, today's the big day, right? It's January 23rd, and it's our appointment with my oncologist. And we're here at Texas Oncology. I must say I'm a little nervous about this. I'm not really sure why, but about a half an hour ago I started having a problem breathing. We had to go into a place where I had to wear my mask, and I was having a really hard time breathing in my mask. I don't ever recall having something like this before, but we're ready for the meeting. Joni and I have been studying, and I've got my folder here with important paperwork and scans. So I'm really hoping that this is going to be a productive meeting, but we'll see. We went into this meeting with a lot of questions. I had already written them up. This was the result of several weeks of researching and what should you ask your oncologist? And one of the questions I asked him was, after we discussed immunotherapy and all of that, I said, okay, so what if I don't do anything, Doc? What if I just say, well, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do immunotherapy, I don't want to do chemo, I'm just going to wing this and eat good. And I said, what do you think my outlook will be in 2, 3, 4 years from now? He said, well, he says, my opinion is that you probably won't make it to 2 years. He said, that's just an opinion. He said, but where you are right now is what we would call late stage 3, early stage 4. And the reason we put you on stage 4 is because you have, this disease is metastasized from your liver to other places. We know of one, he said, up here on your upper area here, your chest. So we know it's moved from there to there. After our PET scan, we may see it's moved to other areas. We don't know. He said, but since it's moved, we call that an M marker for metastasize. So that took me from stage 3, crossed the line over to stage 4, M. That's what they call that, an stage 4 M. You know, it's advanced, and I knew it was advanced. But he is optimistic, as I am, and Joni. With this new treatment and us eating right, and both of us together boosting our immune system. I'm confident. I'm encouraged. I just think we're going in the right direction. Now, remember when I cracked my head? Well, since these severe headaches were 24/7, 365, could hardly even sleep, my primary care doctor at the VA said, you know what, Martin, we've waited. This has not gotten better. I'm going to order 3 MRIs. I want one of your brain, the back of your neck, and your spine. We need to get to the bottom of what's causing this pain. Well, we got those MRIs, and come to find out, guess what? It's metastasized up in my neck, too. I got a little beginning spot right at the base of my head and down on C6 and C7. So my oncologist immediately called his radiologist. That's the other guy, one of the other people on his team. And he says, we need to get some radiation on these spots before it gets out of hand. They're small. They're right there in a very critical area. We need to take care of this. And then while we're doing that, this immunotherapy that I'm on, it's kind of like that 1-2 punch, okay? They're giving me this immunotherapy once a month. They're going to come in here and zap these areas. We decided to also do this area on my shoulder too, right underneath here. So we're going to have this mapped out and do radiation on this spot, very targeted here, here, and here, 10 times, 10 days straight. Each time is 10 minutes. And we're going to zap those things and kill them and shrink them. Then the immunotherapy comes in and does the second punch and heal that area. We want to get it now while it's early. In the meantime, I talked to my oncologist also about these headaches, and he prescribed to me a steroid to bring down the swelling back here, because those tumors, that's what these are back here, they're pushing up against the nerves in my neck, and that's shooting this pain up in the back of my head. He's given me some steroids to bring down that swelling until the radiation, reduces the size of those things and takes the pressure off. And I'm going to tell you what, those things, those pills, it took those headaches right away, but I can't sleep worth a darn. So that's probably why right now on camera, I probably don't look myself, and I don't feel myself. I feel tired and lethargic because I have not been getting enough sleep. I have my ups and downs, but the last day or two, I've really felt fatigued because I just haven't been getting enough sleep. My immunotherapy treatment has not changed. We're still doing that. It treats the whole body, and I started my first round on February 2nd. And then every 30 days there afterwards. Then in tandem with that treatment, radiology for 10 consecutive days on my neck and under my arm. My plan is to release the next cancer update 3 months from now, okay? That'll give me a chance to get through this first quarter of the immunotherapy, the radiation on these spots. They'll do new scans and new blood work, and then we're going to reevaluate. And there's no sense in doing little incremental things in between there. I'll just do everything all at once and give you a 3-month update. Just put my whole life out there in the world and let you all know what's going on. That's what you want to know, right? Oh, God. I can't believe I'm actually making this video, I've been so healthy all my life. Joni and I have talked about this. For me to be going through this, it's surreal. It's just surreal. So that's where we are right now with our oncologist treatment and everything else to get in here and tackle this thing and Martinize this body. And Joni and I just can't thank you enough for answering the call to pray for us, that we would hear God's voice, get on the right path, follow His beckoning, and follow His leading. And we really feel that that's exactly what we're doing. So thank you so much for participating in our healing.